Often, the best movies do a lot with a little. In 1999, we saw the Blair Witch Project popularize the horror found footage genre with only a $500,000 budget. In the years that followed, we saw other horror movies achieve this success, such as Paranormal Activity. Much of it can be attributed to a strong storyline and superb acting. While 2013's Willow Creek doesn't quite reach the heights of the aforementioned films, the movie does do quite a bit with very little. The plot for this found footage movie is just about as simple as it gets. A couple heads to Willow Creek, California, site of the Patterson-Gimlin film, in search of Bigfoot, and the couple gets more than they bargained for. The movie opens with Jim, played by Bryce Johnson, and his girlfriend Kelly, played by Alexi Gilmore, driving toward Willow Creek. Jim is an avid believer in Sasquatch and plans to film his experience. Kelly, who doesn't believe in Bigfoot, tags along to support Jim's project. Jim plans to take Kelly camping near the site of the famous Patterson-Gimlin footage. The Patterson-Gimlin footage was real footage shot in 1967 in Six River National Forest by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. The film, which shows a female Bigfoot walking across Bluff Creek, has been analyzed extensively and has never been found to be a hoax. The footage has become iconic, with many images and art depicting the famous look-back pose. Northern California and Oregon are thought to be hotspots for Bigfoot activity, and Willow Creek is the Bigfoot capital of the world. As the two drive into Willow Creek, they go to a variety of Bigfoot-themed places, such as a restaurant and convenience store. The mood at this point between the two is light and jovial as they interview people in town about Bigfoot. In the Bigfoot Burger restaurant, the two spot a picture of a woman that came through and since has gone missing. Jim asks Kelly to do her best missing face as they highlight just how happy the woman in the picture appears. Next, we see the two heading into the forest to find the Patterson-Gimlin film site. It's not clearly identifiable today, as the structure of the creek as well as the vegetation has changed quite a bit. Still, the two are surely getting close to where the video was filmed. While driving in, an angry man confronts Jim and Kelly and tells them to turn around. The movie could have done without this scene. The man doesn't really add any sense of fear or dread. Also, this is a typical horror cliche that's been done many times. Regardless of the man's warning, the two drive another route in and eventually get out and start hiking for a few hours. They find a creek and Jim goes for a quick dip. However, when they get back to their campsite, the two are angry to see the campsite has been trashed. Jim assures Kelly everything is okay and they have nothing to worry about. As the two go to bed that night, Jim decides to propose to Kelly. However, Kelly thinks they should wait and move in together. Things would only go from bad to worse for the couple that night. In the middle of the night, the two are woken up by vocalizations. Soon, several Sasquatches begin walking around the tent and eventually hitting it. Jim and Kelly are terrified, and soon, Jim's fun project has turned into a disaster. The two are sitting ducks in the pitch black forest with no way to get back to their vehicles at the moment. They wait out the night, terrified. While many Bigfoot investigators say the creatures are actually friendly, Willow Creek changes this narrative. The movie shows the creatures might not be the gentle giants described by many. This becomes more evident as the movie progresses and reaches its horrifying conclusion. The next morning, the tension is real between Jim and Kelly, and they decide to pack up and head back to the car. As they hike through the woods, we see how ill-prepared the two are. Jim and Kelly brought no navigation system for going out in the woods. This is clearly a rookie mistake, and anyone who's gone camping knows you need some way to mark the trail you're on or the place you're at. Garmin makes a number of camping and hiking GPS devices for this. Shockingly, Jim and Kelly don't even have a compass. The two hike through the woods and soon come upon a turned over tree. It has Bigfoot hair on it, and Jim stops to collect a sample. Kelly is furious at this point and screams at Jim. Kelly has no tolerance at this point for Jim's project and clearly wants to get back to the car. The two continue to hike, and soon Kelly stops and angrily points at a tree in the woods. It's the same tree they saw earlier where Jim got the sample. At this point, the two have been walking in circles for hours. All this time, there have been more vocalizations, tree knocking, and a sense the Sasquatches are watching them and surrounding them. Back down at the creek, the two hear a Bigfoot growl and run, just trying to survive at this point. It's clear they're helpless against the Sasquatches. With night coming, Jim and Kelly have to set up camp once again. As they're huddled together, terrified, they hear more vocalizations, and eventually a Sasquatch knocks down their tent. The two run in the pitch black and are trying desperately to survive. Eventually, they run into a woman. She's wearing only a bra, and when we see her face, it's revealed she is the woman from the restaurant. Jim is eventually beaten and killed by a Sasquatch, and in the distance, we hear Kelly scream. The movie ends with a series of loud vocalizations from several different Bigfoots. As the movie ends, the viewer is left with an open-ended question. What is Kelly's fate? Often TV shows and movies do this, and it's frustrating, but the ending in Willow Creek manages to create a simple line of thinking. Kelly is taken prisoner and forced to live among the Bigfoots. Based on how the woman in the picture looks when Jim and Kelly run into her, we get a sense of how the Sasquatches treat their guests. I would have liked to not see so much time inside the tent on the first night. The scene drags on for quite a while, and a better option might have been for just some vocalizations the first night instead of an all-out assault by Bigfoot. I get the director didn't want to show Bigfoot, but another option might have been for Jim and Kelly to stumble upon their nest or living place. Despite not being the scariest film and having a few weaknesses, Willow Creek managed to do a lot with a little. It's certainly one worth watching, but not one you may want to watch before a camping trip.